There it is. I decided to go with a different black and blue worm. As you can see, he's more black than he is blue, but he's got a little bit of sparkles right there. And he's got so this is a zoom speed worm, and this little tail just sit there and it'll shimmy back and forth a little bit faster than what I'm doing right now, but it does draw them in a little bit more eventually. I do have another worm like I just had, but I'm trying something different. So to rig these up Texas rig, you want to put in the head of the bait into the hook about this much distance, you know, from where your line tie is to where the bend is right here. Maybe, you know, 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, and thread it all the way through. Doesn't really matter on these on how straight you get it, because there's really not an upside or a downside to it. And just run it up the line, get it straight. As you can see, I put it right there to where the line tie is, over the bend, so it'll keep it from sliding back down. And then on the hook where you tie it in, just make a good guesstimate. Put your finger where the hook is, lays flat. Run it as straight as you can right through it to expose it. And what I do is I just work it back and forth a little bit. That way, if a bass does decide to hit it, the bait will drop down more naturally. It is. Sometimes it doesn't matter, depending on the bait, but it just, for peace of mind, I do it that way. Put the hook back in, pull the worm towards you a little bit away from the hook, and then dig it into the body a little bit and let it slide back in. So basically, you just skin hooked it right down the middle on these small worms. Doesn't really matter how deep. You do want it to come out when you set the hook, but usually these things are soft enough. When you set the hook, it's going to break through the plastic. I'm not going to do it right here because I just put it on, but I'll show you in another one and maybe in another video. And nothing going on right there. So we're going to take the worm, we're just going to come back right over here. Run across these posts because I see a whole lot of something happening. And we're back to shallow. Shallow. So this particular technique I'm using, it's called the pendulum. You can do it with any bait really. So what you do when you take your draw back, instead of slack lining and letting it just pull it and let it slack to where you're at, keep that rod tip up and let that creature bait, that worm, whatever you got on there, when you pull your line up, it's going to pull the bait towards you. So when you pull it up, it's going to just calmly glide back towards you, or the way you're drawing the line goes. It's going to go up and then just wiggle back down to where you're at. Nice little glide. It's called the pendulum. And it's just another presentation for the fish. You know, normally you raise it up and you let it fall, which the bait's going to go straight down. With the pendulum, you're going to raise it up and let it glide back towards you. Not as a hurry to hit the ground or the bottom. Oh, I just got thumped right there, and my line's running. Oh yes sir, got him. Look at there, baby. Come on, buddy. Look at there, boys and girls. Nice and easy. Look how beautiful this largemouth bass is. He's every bit of 2 pounds. Look how healthy he is. And you hooked him right on the top. Look at that. All right, so there's that technique for a good largemouth bass. He's very, very healthy, and he's tournament worthy. And as you can see, he's got some red spots on his tail. So I don't know if he's recovering from late spawn or some kind of fight he got into, but he's nice. All right, buddy, go back in there. And that's how you do that. Any questions? Good. And he didn't really booger up my worm too bad, so we're going to reuse it. I just expose it, put the hook back underneath the skin a little bit to make it weedless, and do the peg back down to the weight. That way it's all one solid piece, just like that. And I got a worm hook on it. You got worm hooks and you got wide gap hooks. I like the worm hooks a lot, even for some creature baits. To me, I feel that it makes me hook up a little bit better, and you don't have all that extra hardware coming down and looping back in. But you know, fish to what bait you have on the hook. This one's an extended one. It's a little bit longer, as you can see. It's probably about 3 fingers, which is maybe about a 2-inch from the line tie to the business end right there. I got those, I think, at the Walmarts, and they seem to work a lot. I've caught fish here, I've caught fish in Louisiana, I've caught fish in Texas. I think I've even used this up on Pickwick Lake. That works pretty good. It just helps them get the hook set a little bit better because it's more towards the back for your short striking fish. So same thing. My guess is that he was near these columns right here, or underneath the dock a little bit, because when I hooked him, he was halfway between us and the post that you see out there. So he might have been trailing it from over yonder, or he might have been just looking out from the dock waiting for things to pass by so he can reach out and touch somebody, which he reached out and touched the worm. So sometimes patience is the key when they get hooked like that. I don't know if you saw me hook them and you saw the line run. I don't know if you could see it in the video, but sometimes you got to let them take it so they can suck it all in. It was a real soft bite, and usually if you feel the bite and you set the hook, he might just have the tail end of it in his mouth, which is gonna yank out every time. So be patient. These fish, if they want it, they're gonna take it in and they're gonna swim off with it like nobody's business. Like they don't even feel the hook or feel any line because you're letting it run. until that magic moment when you reel down and you set that hook. Then they know, oh boy, I messed up. Old road done caught me.